Just as I promised, coming to you live, 7 p.m. ishes East Coast time, right here on Storm Talk 365, Conversation with Miss B. I'm really excited about my special guest. He is bringing his new podcast to Storm Talk 365 on Conversations with Miss B. I am excited. Christopher Allen. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, I definitely appreciate you for having me and being able to be on your platform to really discuss the I.O.M, the issues of men.
I.O.M. I'm excited. Miss B is excited about a lot of things, but this time I'm really excited because Christopher is no stranger to podcasting. He has a lot of things under his belt: actor, author, poet, you name it. But tonight, his new podcast, Issues of Men, is exciting to me because there are so many things that men go through and they don't want to talk about it. And one of the things that Christopher says is that men sometimes seek others when they shouldn't. Christopher, what made you decide or help you decide to have a podcast focused on men?
Primarily, I was just seeing a lot of issues and things that men were going through, and really, I didn't see many platforms out there discussing men's issues. I saw a lot of, women's platforms and things of that nature. And I was over the course of the last 2 years or so, I've had a group of gentlemen who we wanted to get together and put something together, but due to schedules and personalities and anything you could imagine, I was like, wow. I was like, we really got a lot of issues going on, just even putting that together. But I really wanted to just express topics that we're experiencing, but not always willing to admit and address openly. So, that was the first step in, get the men, get the women together to be able to talk about some of these topics or issues that we have.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of mental health issues that are exacerbated because of this pandemic and people being quarantined. And, your topic for tonight, tell the listeners why you chose that topic and what do you hope to share with them in that topic?
Tonight's topic is, why are we constantly seeking another? You may have the greatest friend. You may have a great wife. You may have a great partner. And it was just always trying to figure out, no matter how it's, as if we don't love the individual that we're with, or, have a deep bond, a deep connection with our friend or the person that we're engaging in. But there was just always something, a series of things that we are just always seeking another. And I always ask myself, is it greed? Is it lust? And is it a man's nature to conquer the herd like many males in the animal kingdom? And, out of many species in the animal kingdom, we're one of the species that can choose to be with a mate. Others just, up there on top, they do what they do. They go around and do what they want to do. So I was just asking myself, was that, is that why we always constantly seek another? Is it that we can't control ourselves? Is it, will one woman ever be truly enough? And Miss B and the viewers, I just remember back in 2013, and a large group of people when I first got married. All right. And the pastor said what it was to be married, that you're going to be committed to this woman for life. and he was saying that he had asked me some of the female celebrities or women that I have an attraction to, and so he was saying like Angela Bassett, Sanaa Lathan, Layla Ali, Halle Berry, Paula Patton, Janet Jackson, and Jada Smith. So he was like, if one of these women ever approached you or had an interest in you, that you had chose this one woman over all of them, and can you handle that? Can you be faithful? Can you? And of course, in that moment, I was like, yes. This is who I'm choosing. This is who I'm choosing. But I also said too, in the back of my mind, I was like, but in reality, what man would not jump at the opportunity to be with one of these women, whether it was for a few hours, for the night, the day? And I was just saying, trying to figure that out. Honestly, I was just like, whew, that'd be hard. That'd be hard to pass up. It'd be very hard to pass up. So, with that being said, I know that we are visual creatures, and being visual creatures, um, we're always going to like somebody. We're always going to be attracted to someone else. But again, it's how we handle ourselves. And I think one of the major things is that men are immature.
Mm.
When I say immature, there's a whole list of things that I want to mention or put out there. And just from your experience with dealing with men, I want you to let me know too, um, if you agree or disagree with some of the things that I'm saying this evening. Okay. Um,
I'm already smiling because you giggling. Well, when you said immature, I was like, Lord, folks gonna be sitting you. Don't be calling me immature. Who are you to be saying I'm immature? I know what I'm doing. A piece of let me stop. They're not gonna pass it up. I'm sorry, but keep going.
it's okay. And a lot of times, you know, we respond. Okay, one example: emotional dissatisfaction. If a woman is not showing us let's say, the lack of appreciation, if we have a lack of appreciation in a relationship, um, we always seek validation. Most of us, we always seek validation. So when we're seeking this validation, if we don't get it at home, if we don't get it with our friend, we're going to go outside of the relationship. If it's not being provided, we're going to find that validation somewhere at some point in time. So if there's any ladies that are watching right now, I'm just going to say, folks, just be sure to validate your man. Let him know that you appreciate him, the things that he's doing. Um, because if not, again, um, you're inviting someone else in the door. That's just plain and that's just what it is. You might not like it, but that is just the truth. Um, a lot of us have never really recovered from our past relationships, Miss B,
Mm.
listeners. And if you haven't recovered from your last relationship, um, again, you're going to be carrying this baggage into this new relationship, which is going to cause friction, which is going to cause things to happen, and eventually, we're going to be looking for someone else just because of that pain, because of that baggage that we're carrying. When we need to really sit down and give ourselves some time to heal, give ourselves some time to shake what we have, shake it off, shake it off, shake it off, y'all, shake it off, and continue, and then decide if you want to get into a relationship or not. But you would definitely need to heal first. Um, Work relationships. We're at work. sometimes 8 hours, sometimes more than 8 hours a day. We spend more time at work than we do with our significant other. And sometimes we can form another bond um, with another female or whoever you choose. Um, I guess I'm not going to leave out the other genders or other people, but whoever you choose, where we sometimes we tend to spend more time there, and your relationship goes stronger. So we'll be seeking um, what you're not getting at home. And sometimes in a relationship, if you're bored, and this is one of the reasons why we're consistently or constantly seeking another. If you have a boring relationship, or if a man is bored with the person that he's with, in all honesty, he's going to go find that excitement or find something else out there to um, fill that space, to the thrill of the chase. He's going to find and get that excitement. Trust when I tell you. Um, Another reason that I believe that we constantly seek another is we want to be accepted. We want to fit into a group, um, a crowd, and we want to reciprocate behaviors and do things that are going to get us into, um, quote unquote, feel good in a group of people, people who like you or care about you, supposedly. And sometimes we're fitting in to groups, then individuals, whether that be motorcycle clubs, softball, baseball, football, chess, just hanging out, shooting pool, whatever that is. We would like to fit in, and sometimes they have individuals who would, who are going to wear you down and corrode you to see somebody else, because birds of a feather flock together. So these are some of the things. This is another situation, another reason why men um, tend to seek another outside of the relationship. Um, Communication failure is a big issue. I just feel as you grow, as you learn to become yourself, learn yourself, be comfortable and confident with yourself, you're going to be able to express your feelings and what it is um, that you need to tell your mate, your friend, your girlfriend, whoever she is, your wife, and communicate that firmly but respectfully. So there's not going to be any communication errors and communication problems. But that's another reason why we tend to seek another outside of our relationship. Um, and I mentioned some of this before. Being unhappy, does unhappy mean that we're unhappy with ourselves? Or are we unhappy with our choices? Or are we unhappy with the woman that we chose? Maybe we really wanted to be with another and chose this particular person. It's another reason why men consistently seek another. Um, our insecurities.
Mm.
Maybe we have an insecurity just in regards to, we have a great female. Maybe he feels that he's too old, too young, not smart enough, don't have a degree, don't have the right job, the right car, um, all these type of things and insecurities come to the forefront. And maybe sometimes he doesn't even believe that he's not attractive enough, muscular enough, and maybe he doesn't feel that he deserves love or deserves that woman. This is just another reason that we consistently seek another outside of the relationship. And again, this just goes back to just being able to communicate, um, and really take the time to get to know yourself, be confident in yourself.
Mm.
Therefore, you won't be placing these insecurities and putting your mate or someone else in a bad situation because of something that you're going through. Because as men, I think as women, whoever, sometimes we tend to put our thoughts, our feelings, um, and we tend to deflect them and put them on other people when it's really us that we need to deal with. Um, and just having options is another reason why men consistently seek another. There is a gang of women out there, plethora of women out there. And again, there's not enough good men, um, straight men. There's a lot of others. A lot of our men are in jail right now, and we're seeing um, being locked up for weird, crazy reasons, and sometimes we may have done something major. But these are some of the reasons why. Uh, I'm just at a loss of words right now because again, of when you have options, a lot of men have no fear.
Mm.
They have no fear of losing anything at
Mm.
all. As long as you have options available,
Mm.
you can go to the next.
Mm.
As long as you have options, you don't have to. You don't have to take her stuff. You don't have to, quote unquote, feed into her. You don't. She ain't doing this right. Somebody else gonna do it. So when you have options, that's another reason that men consistently seek another. Um, Men do have young, old. We all do have desires. We might have strange desires. We might have desires that women, your girlfriend, your mate, whoever, may not feel comfortable doing. We will seek another to satisfy that itch, to satisfy um, whatever desires that we do have it going on. It's out there, and he's going to find it. Um, and he's another reason why we consistently seek another. A lot of us um, are protecting our feelings, and again, this goes back to immaturity. This goes to unhappiness. This goes to insecurities.
Mm-hmm. You
We
mentioned,
protect,
yeah, three
huh?
things. I said you mentioned three things I'm gonna touch on. Keep going.
Okay, and then I'm gonna give it to you right after this. So when we do this, a lot of times we're like protecting our feelings or protecting ourselves or anything that happens out of the ordinary because we still carrying that hurt. Be like, well, I'm gonna get her first before she get me. So it's like we're protecting our feelings, and if we're feeling that she's out to get me or she's out to do something, we're like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and get her first. Now, what was you gonna say, Miss B? I'm gonna give it back to you. Pass the mic.
A whole lot. I'm just excited that you decided to bring your podcast to our platform and allow me to be here with you. I'm not co-hosting. I'm just giving you the platform. But since you offered me the opportunity to um, participate, I just want to say you're absolutely right. I stand in agreement with you. And I don't want people to think that these issues are gender specific, even though he's focusing in on men. A lot of these things can be applied across the plate to females. One of the things that I definitely want to stand in agreement with you on is immaturity. And immaturity can be taken to the extreme. Well, don't be calling me immature, but it doesn't mean that you're immature as a person, but there's some developmental stages in your personality that has lacked growing up. And so we have some levels of immaturity. I want, I need, I don't have to put up with. It's a I mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so in doing that, all of those issues that you brought up has a level of immaturity. It's like, regardless of what I need to do to make me happy, I'm going to do it. And you mentioned the part about, if you had all of those Bollywood, Hollywood women, and who would, pass up an opportunity to be with someone as successful, professional, and attractive as they are, it would be hard to say no, even if it's just for one night stand. Um,
Yes.
but for me, oh, and the second, we talked about being insecure. Immaturity brings up out a level of insecurities, and you said they have not, um, don't really have a lot of confidence in who they are. I'm not muscular enough. I'm not tall enough, short enough, sexual enough. Don't have enough money. And always thinking there's somebody else out there better than I.
My teeth messed up.
You know what I'm saying? But if she did not want you, she would not have chosen you with all of the imperfections. You may not be perfect, but you're perfect for her. So we talked about the immaturity and the insecurities. And the third thing that you brought up, which, you didn't actually, say it this way, but a level of self respect. When you say options,
Mm,
I consider it a lack of self respect. It's not just respecting the mate, but you should have more respect for yourself than to say, I'm better than that. I'm
right.
better.
Absolutely.
It's not even always about how you mistreat or treat somebody else. What about yourself? So there are three things that I stand in agreement with you on. Immaturity and is number one on the list. But those three things are the reason why I think both men and women tend to seek another, regardless of how good they may have or don't have it. And they don't handle it in a way that brings them a level of integrity. I'm going to say that. So
Right. Right.
thank you. That's my input.
And I learned over a period of time that when you hurt somebody else, when you disrespect somebody else, 9 times out of 10, you're hurting and disrespecting yourself.
Oh no, no, it's 100%.
Yeah.
It starts with, because even no matter what we do, it hurts us first, because there goes the lack of self-respect and integrity. I'm better than that. And the only way you
Right.
can hurt somebody is if they allow your behavior to hurt them. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you're hurting them. It means that they find your behavior disrespectful or uncomfortable, but the hurt really starts with you. I'm better than that. And most people don't feel that they deserve better, can do better, and don't realize that they're hurting themselves and creating their own consequences. And the reason why they haven't got over bad relationships is because they don't think they deserve better.
Absolutely. And so, everybody that's listening out there, again, just take that time before you happen to move on, seek another. You need to get yourself together first, because it's almost like a virus or a disease. Then you're gonna pass it on to the next person. The other person gonna pass it on to the next person. It's a pandemic, a relationship pandemic,
Yes, it is. It really.
individual and couple pandemics going on out here right now. And I also think one of the reasons why men seek another is that a lot of times we have this unreal expectation of their friend, partner, wife. Um, a lot of men, or I'm not saying 100%, but a lot of men, we come home a lot of times and we chill. Yeah, if you'll have children, nine times out of ten, 9 times out of 10, she's the one who's dealing with the children, got the homework. She has to clean the home. She has to cook, and the list goes on and on and on. And if she can't, and at the end of the night, if she's tired and she don't feel like she wants to have sex or do whatever that you feel that you want to do, um, forget that. You ain't gotta do nothing. and he'll go out elsewhere to go find what he need. If he had been able to put himself in a position to be of assistance, to be of help, and helped her out in some of these situations, they would have more time together, whether that be in the bedroom, more time to conversate. You have more relationship time. And like I said, I've seen this over and over again growing up. And even as a grown man with friends and people, relationships, it happens all the time. Um, Finances are a big reason why we continue to seek another. Some of this goes back to immaturity, goes back to ego, it goes back to pride. And I'm gonna just put myself as an example. I'm not gonna use nobody else as an example. I'm gonna use myself as an example today. My wife right now makes more money than me. Am I mad? Am I upset? Uh, do I feel out of sorts? Am I in my feelings? No, I'm happy.
Bring that money home.
Yes, bring it in. You know,
Hey.
and men definitely should not, whether they make less, if she has a prestigious job, come to terms with that. And it's okay. You are still in a collaboration in the home to pay the bills, take care of your children if you have any, um, anything else that comes in your home's way. You two are collaborating together to make it work.
Absolutely.
Not that, uh, and some people, some men have, we've been taught, we've been having this um, backwards mentality, in my opinion. And next week, I know definitely I'm going to get into some of this next week about why I think it's a mistake that men should not be the only breadwinner in the home. And I
Woo! I
definitely
like
will
that.
get into that next week. And you'll be surprised at my answer, but I believe that it's going to help to change your mind. Um, I definitely believe it's going to help to change your mind. Now, when I talk about, when I say the finance aspect of it too, I'm just saying it doesn't really matter. She makes more. She make you mad at her. What are you mad at her for? Miss B, can you reflect? Do you?
I was, you know what? I would like to say something. Like you said, I don't feed you anything I don't eat. I always like to use myself as an example. Um, in the beginning of my marriage, I made more money as a nurse. Um, and I always worked. I've made some pretty good money, and it was more than my husband. And it didn't matter because, like you said, it's all going in the same pot. Oh, honey, you got to go to work. Go ahead on. Look what we can do with this. Look what we can do with that. And I spoiled him. If I had extra money, I mean, he's a Dallas Cowboy fan, and I spoiled him. If it was a Dallas Cowboy in a service station and I could buy it, I bought something. He was decked out. I even had a room just specifically for him. He had his man cave. So what I'm saying is we're going back to the level of insecurities, immaturities that even play a part in the finances between couples. And you're going to get into that next week, and I'm excited about that because a lot of these things that you've said, people are going through right now, and the men don't realize that I'm not going to say they are the issue, but they are the catalyst of issues. And again, it can go both ways. The women need to understand that this applies to them too. And I also like the part where you said unrealistic expectations and on from both sides. I have to say for women as well. But you come home and of course you work 6, 8, 10 hours, and the woman has worked 6, 8, and 10 hours. But yet she has additional responsibility, getting the kids ready for bed, getting dinner, washing clothes, making sure this is done, and you come home and get on a PlayStation and just chill out. But that part comes also with a level of maturity. A lot of people were not raised to understand that marriage is a two-parter, if you allow it to be, but really it's a
Mm-hmm.
one. There's a collaboration. There's no such thing as a two-part. We're in this together. We need to. I wash the dishes while you get the kids in the bathtub, or don't worry about cooking. I'm bringing it home, and that type thing. Instead of, like you said, unrealistic expectations, and the same thing for women. So I'm looking forward to you talking more next week about the financial aspect of it. But so far, I like episode number one. Are you pleased with episode number?
I am definitely pleased with episode number one. Um, and again, with all the facts laid out right now, what can we do as men to make our lives less stressful and destructive when it comes to seeking another, whether we're single, whether we're looking outside of our relationship? What can we do as men to make our lives much better, and for our mate, for our friends, and for uh, our wives? What can we do to step up to make these changes? And even with some of the things that I mentioned here this evening, again, I just always say, and this helped me in a great deal: know thyself, work on yourself, take the time to heal. And if you don't take that time to heal, what's going to end up happening when you look back in that rear mirror? When you start going back to the same places you used to hang out, you're not even going to go back there anymore, because you've left a whole line, a whole trail of destruction in relationships. You hurt a lot of people. And now that you realize it, will you ever go back and apologize to them? Will you go back and make amends?
Mm.
One of the things that I did years ago, um, when I was growing, I know the people that I hurt, the people that I hurt me, we've had conversations and were able to say, you know what? We were young, we were stupid, young, dumb, full of release and come, all these things, chemistry, whatever it was, we just didn't handle. We didn't handle the relationship properly, and we were able to squash that and say, look, I forgive you. And again, that releases some of the guilt, some of the hurt and pain that you're carrying around, that you're issuing to other people. Um, I'd say too, when you're hurt and you're going through things, and the reason why you constantly seek another, drugs, sex, or temporary reliefs, temporary things um, that don't fix the problem. We have to do the work to get better, to become better men for ourselves, for better lives and a better future. Um, put yourself in someone else's shoes. Put yourself in her shoes. Okay. Show some empathy. How would you feel if she did X, Y, and Z to you? Um, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. He just
I'm just
said
saying. These are some of the things that we have to look at and consider sometimes. In this whole process, in our healing. Um, Another thing that I didn't mention earlier that just came to my mind is that we have to start respecting another's thoughts and feelings outside of our own. Start to respect others' feelings. It's not always about me. It's not always about what I want, what I'm trying to do, whatever. The other person that you're with has emotions and feelings too. Just keep that in mind, because if somebody started treating you like that, I'm pretty sure you have an issue or problem. So let's start thinking about that. Um, with the facts laid out, you know, um, as opposed to what we are expecting women per se to do in all these relationships, redefine what's realistic for you, for your home, for that relationship. not based on what we were taught and told in the past, and based on our own individual selfishness. Look in that aspect of it. Try to define something that's new, something that works for you two together. Um, I've done this in the past, and I just really want and hope that men don't do this or stop doing it. Women, you too,
Yeah, I was going to say it's across the plate.
stop entertaining or dealing with people that you really don't want to be with, aka using somebody else. Stop using people, because it's going to come. You not only you hurting them, but it's going to come back to get you later in some form, some way. Um, I just say also too, to put this up in a better position, not um, to continually seek another. When I say communication, I mean weed and seed. Find out if that person is a match for you before jumping the gun, before jumping in a relationship, or yo, I'm lonely. I want to be with somebody. Stop that, because loneliness is going to bring you. How can I can't find the words right now, but I'm pretty sure
Drama.
y'all understand what I'm talking about.
Loneliness brings you drama. That's it.
Drama, avoid, and before even sleeping with her, find out more as she instead of looking at her vivacious body, her curves. Find a little bit more about her. Find a little bit more her family, her upbringing, and things of that nature, so you'll be able to understand and choose better. If you're going to be a helpmate or be helpful to her, be that. Be her friend, as opposed to again using her or lying to her to get what you want out of the situation. Um, I just want to say too that everyone is not out to get us. Stop assuming the worst before it happens. Stop assuming the worst before it happens, because we're setting our own selves up for failure. We're setting them up for failure.
Well, I like what you've said so far, especially the part where you talked about setting themselves up for failure. Why do we as humans, not just men, constantly seek another? Maybe not constantly. Why do we seek another? Period. But that I also am looking forward to your next week's topic, um, talking about finances. And again, I said it summed up in three different categories. The first one being immaturity, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then the self worth. You're better than that. You're better than that. And I like also the part that you said take into consideration your mate's emotions, needs, and concerns. And of course, I threw my little two cent in there. It's not, you know, a you and me. It's a us. It's a partnership. It's collaboration. So
Collaboration, partnership.
excited about it. That's right. So before we leave, is there anything else you would like to tell them and let them know how they can reach you on I.O.M. Issues of Men?
Um, I think definitely. I think the last thing that I wanted to say is that, in all truth and transparency, let's not get it twisted, gentlemen, ladies. We will never stop liking or being attracted to another or the person of your choice. But it's how we conduct ourselves and be disciplined as men with those feelings that define who you are and will show your true character. So that would be my final thought for today's IOM issues of men. Um, our next week's show is the mistake of men being the only provider in the household. Um, I do want to say too, possibly, if you want to become a guest on the show, or if you want to submit a topic of conversation, email me at issuesofmen at gmail.com. Put the topic in the subject line. Also, the point of view in a summarized fashion, but the point of view. And I definitely contact you back. If the topic makes the show, I definitely shout you out on the show, or definitely have you become a guest on the show in regards to that. You may reach me. I'm on Instagram, Issues of Men. Also, author Chris Allen on Instagram. You may reach author Christopher Allen at gmail.com, and also the Issues of Men at gmail.com. Trying to think of anything else I want to. Oh, um, and I close the statement, Miss B. And again, I want to thank everybody who's tuning in this evening or who's going to be able to watch this a little bit later. Um, Respectfully, be open, be honest, transparent, and we will never be perfect. But the whole object of this show is to be better than you were yesterday in every aspect of your life. And we will see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. The Issues of Men on Storm Talk 365 Radio Network.
All right, everybody. Starting next week, you can hear all of his videos as a podcast on iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, and many, many more. So if you don't have the time to look at the video, we are on our podcast network. You can find us at www.stormtalk365radio.com. That's Issues of Men and Conversations with Miss B. Christopher Allen. I'm excited about every episode that's coming our way.
As well.
Thank you so much.
We're going to keep digging and we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Oh man, I don't know about that bottom. That bottom can be right crab-like. We're gonna have
it's deep. It's very deep. I don't know if I'm gonna go that far.
Well, we're gonna make it work. All right, everybody.
Make it work.
On Conversations with Miss B with Issues of Men, Christopher Allen, his debut episode. Again, you can find us at www.stormtalk365radio.com, and his podcast will be available 7 p.m. East Coast time on iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, many more starting next Wednesday. All right, everybody, have a blessed night. Thanks, Chris.
We love you. Thank you. You have a good night.
All right.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.